I know it's been a while, and I know this is different from what we normally, well, from what I normally react to, but this video has interested me, and I saw it a couple of days ago, and so it interested me. I didn't have time to watch it, so I was just like, you know what, this would be fun, you know? Why the body flicker destroys Naruto fights? I'm pretty sure I have a rough idea why, but at the same time, there's more broken and more useful jutsus than the body flicker, as far as I know. Like, I've consumed almost every Naruto content I can, except for the light novels. So, aside from the light novels, I do kind of know, well, I understand most of it. I'm not saying I'm a Naruto guru or anything, but yes, I do understand, and I've heard lots of people talk about the light novels, so I have a rough idea on how good the body flicker is. But it's also, I won't say it was that useful, because I mean Shisui did die. He absolutely did get his ass handed to him. So, and by bugs no less. So if it was really that good, how'd he lose like that?
When trading abilities for your fantastical
And just so you guys know, I do know that Shishui, oh fuck, well, whatever his name was, um, he did get ambushed. I do know that. So there's no need to say in the comments, but he got ambushed and so on. I know.
series filled with magic and special powers, you have to be very careful not to make something too powerful that everybody has access to, and that if characters don't use it in the appropriate moment, people will just be scratching their heads because, well, you could have just done that and saved yourself. Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, the same can be said about Madara, because he never ever used his EMS. Like in this Shinobi War, he never ever used it. So because he was stupidly broken that way. So, and the only way they killed him off was getting backstabbed, and bringing back Kaguya. So he was kind of the strongest OPest being in the universe, and so yes, he already did make someone very, very strong.
those problematic jutsus is the body flicker technique, which is a very widespread jutsu in the Naruto series. It's a D-rank ninjutsu, meaning that any mildly experienced genin would have access to it. Not very difficult to learn that. The jutsu works as follows. The user of the body flicker technique can move short to long distances at an almost untraceable speed. To an observer, it appears as if the user has teleported. It is accomplished by using chakra to temporarily vitalize the body and move at extreme speeds. The amount of chakra required depends on the overall distance and elevation between the user and the intended destination. So this is essentially teleportation, but you're actually physically moving there. It's just that you're so fast, people
It is a worse version of the flying Raijin.
cannot even see you doing that. And occasionally ninjas can use a puff of smoke to disguise their movements and the direction they're going. Other times they can use other elements as well, such as Gaara when he used sand, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, everyone has access to this extremely powerful ability and nobody seems to be using it when it's very important. Now, it is stated
It's not that important.
that this jutsu isn't easy to master for combat situations. So much so that Shisui, the one who actually managed to do so, was known as Shunshin no Shisui, or Shisui the Teleporter.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that fucking struggles to say his name.
Because he used the body flicker technique to amp his speed to absurd levels mid-combat and use the body flicker to actually fight, which is something almost unheard of. This jutsu is mostly used to traverse long distances or just run away from the battlefield. It's not something you can use.
If anybody is wondering, it is basically like Bleach's movement technique that they have. I'm pretty sure everybody's gotten into Bleach now that the Thousand Year Blood War is going on. Whenever you see them like disappear and then reappear, yes, it's basically a very similar movement, but they do it on a much higher scale, and everybody can do it.
Use mid-battle very often because it's hard to control. It requires some very...
So yes, the perfected version is basically what you have in Bleach, where you can use it in combat, out of combat, and you can use it so often and so proficiently that you can travel kilometers. And well, in this case, you could probably travel miles as well. But because I'm in South Africa and almost everyone on the eastern side of the world uses kilometers. Yes, I'm going with kilometers. So you can travel massive amounts of like distance, like 10 kilometers, 50 kilometers, quite easily with the technique from Bleach.
very good precision in your chakra, and it's understandable. You don't want every single one of your ninjas using this jutsu during your fights, because first, they would get pretty boring, and second, it would be very difficult to balance things out. But even if you take out of the equation those who can use it mid-fight, the other applications for this jutsu are also absolutely insane.
You know what's one thing now that I'm thinking about it? The third Hokage mastered every jutsu except for the flying Raijin, as far as I know, and one other jutsu. I think it was the Rasengan. I think he mastered every other jutsu besides those two. Why didn't he use the body flicker technique? Is it because he was old and his body couldn't handle it? Because I mean, if he was able to use it and use it like Shishbi, like he would be fucking broken. Orochimaru wouldn't stand a chance. I'm just
First,
saying.
you can travel to almost any location in a very short time. And of course, there's a chakra limitation to it. The more you have to travel, the more chakra you have to spend on the body flicker, but...
Yes, but most of the time you're close combat. Well, early Naruto was always close combat, so... Yeah, you didn't have to travel massive distances. All you really had to do was travel like a meter ahead of yourself or behind yourself or anywhere. So the technique was technically very broken.
People like Naruto who have nigh infinite chakra, they shouldn't be worried about traveling because they can just, I'm just gonna body flicker to the other side of the world and come back because I have enough chakra to do that 10 times over. And also the ability to flee any sticky situations you're in is just absolutely amazing. We see characters using this jutsu time and time again to get out of sticky situations or travel long distances whenever it's convenient. For instance, when Orochimaru and Kabuto had to retreat from the three-way deadlock, they just disappeared. Body flicker away. Also, when Orochimaru, Kabuto, and Sasuke...
I don't think that was a body flicker because they were merging into the ground, weren't they?
Just disappeared. Body flicker away.
Kabuto maybe, but Orochimaru didn't body flicker away as far as I
Also,
know.
when Orochimaru, Kabuto, and Sasuke had to flee from their hideout in the Tenchi Bridge arc, they turned into fire and disappeared. Body flicker away. When Hans...
Are we really gonna... Okay, that might be the body flicker technique, because I mean, they used the fire to mask the movement, but it could have been a different type of jutsu that they used. I don't think it was like said that they used the body flicker technique there. So, I don't know about that one.
Hanzo had to flee from Nagato's soul-consuming dragon who was destroying Hanzo's army. What did he do? He body flickered away.
Okay,
When
yes.
Kisame and Itachi were fighting in the Leaf Village against Guy, Kakashi, Asuma, and Kurenai, and Itachi decided they had to retreat, what did they do? They body flicker away. When Haku collects quote-unquote dead Zabuza after the first Kakashi versus Zabuza fight, he body flickers away. Now granted, he wasn't in danger in that situation, but it was very important for Haku to get out of there quickly so that he didn't arouse any suspicion. But you get what I mean, right? The body flicker is just a get out of jail free card for any given
Not
time
really.
where characters have to get away from a certain situation in the story. Wouldn't it be more interesting if they actually had to think about a creative solution as to how to escape? Instead of just poof, I'm gone, I body flickered away, and there's literally nothing you can do about that because reasons. Now, have you ever realized that nobody ever attempts to chase body flickers with their own body flicker? Now, okay, you can say that you don't really see exactly where they went, but somebody as skilled as Kakashi, for example, with a Sharingan, or the Sanin like Tsunade and Jiraiya, they would probably have an idea and then give chase to the body flickers that were leaving the battlefield and fleeing them. But of course, it's for plot reasons. It's for the convenience of the story, and sometimes
And sometimes, like Kakashi, he has to look after Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, instead of chasing after a rogue ninja that could or could not have more allies aimed at the dude that you're trying to protect. So Kakashi didn't go after Zabuza because he had to stay behind, protect the children, and protect the client. So that's why he didn't give chase. And sure, Tsunade and Jiraiya could do it, and Naruto could do it once he was older and he had more chakra and his sensory abilities was improved. He could technically do it. But at the same time, chasing after an enemy isn't always the good thing. So, it's my
You
opinion.
have to do that to expedite things, but then again, it would be much more interesting if the characters had to rely on something more specific to their arsenal and their jutsus to run away in those situations. It's also stated in the wiki that the Raikage, the fourth Raikage, uses the body flicker with his lightning chakra cloak, creating the
I'm not
lightning
gonna
body
lie, I
flick,
did
and
not
that's
know
what
about
he
that.
uses to dodge Amaterasu and whatnot, but this doesn't really seem supported by any evidence in the manga. He just seems to be extremely fast, using his taijutsu amped by the lightning style. It's not the body flicker jutsu, so I don't really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's his lightning armor. And because he amps his physical abilities with his chakra, that he's able to move that fast and do so much damage. Isn't that the explanation that the manga gives?
A lot of faith in that
Could've sworn it
statement.
did.
But the main problem is that when characters are in difficult situations and they don't use the body flicker when they could have, then you're just going to scratch your heads and say, why didn't you just body flicker away like everyone else seems to be able to do when it's needed for them? For example, Choji, you have to go to Tsunade and report about Pain's abilities, and there so happens to be a missile chasing you. Will you do A, body flicker away towards Tsunade's location, making yourself much faster than the missile and just escaping the battlefield, or B, run like a fat idiot waiting for Kakashi to sacrifice himself because he has to use Kamui to Kamui away the missile to get exploded into bits?
sacrificing
I don't
himself.
know which one seems to be the better option here. Now you could say maybe Choji didn't know the body flicker technique, but it's a D rank technique. Any ninja should know that.
Yes, but during combat, it is hard to use the body flicker technique. So, again, you have to think on your toes, and you have to be able to come up with solutions to everything. And Choji, as far as I know, is not that clever. And secondly, to use it without preparing to use it, that's why only Shisui and someone else was able to use the body flicker technique in combat, which Choji is in combat. It is hard. It is difficult. So that is probably the reason why lots of people don't use it. Why? They're in combat. Unless you're Joni, an elite Joni, I have to say, because Kakashi, Zabuza, and all of those people can do it. In combat, Hanzo can do it, as it showed, can do it. So that's why they can probably do it in combat. I mean, it's exactly what I don't know if you guys remember the video. There was a guy that threw a grenade, like a fake grenade, down like the one hole in like the trenches or something like that, and then there's another hole at the bottom by his legs. People in comments were like, "How don't you see the second hole at the bottom of your by your knees?" I'm pretty sure everybody would notice that. When you're fighting, you don't know or see anything unless you're able to stay calm, and that comes with experience. But even then, you don't notice much around you except what is happening in front of you. That's why that design, so when you throw the grenade downwards, is so clever, because lots of people just want to survive. So they see something and they tunnel vision on that something, and then they can't do anything else or think about anything else. So that's why probably using body flicker in combat is so fucking difficult, because it needs probably high chakra control to be able to move that fast, move your chakra in the way you want to. And so I just find it so dumb. Of course nobody can do that during combat, because you're in fucking combat. You have to think about everything else. You have to think about your opponent. and there's mental nerves going on all around you because you see people die, you see other people die, you see your comrades getting hurt, so then you want to go and save them. It is very, very hard. And mental nerves is the main well, it's one of the big like things with Naruto. Minato got mental nerve finding out that the masked figure was Obito. Like it's like I don't see what the problem with it is.
Especially because Choji was already a Chunin by that point in the story. Also, like, you know, when Madara tosses 2 meteors on top of your battalion of shinobis, why do you just run away
Mental nerve.
like fools instead of everyone just body flicker away of the meteor?
I mean, if you see something like that happening, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to run away. You don't think about anything else except running away. Your body moves faster than your mind does in times like that. Your mind says danger, danger, danger. Your body's like, okay, let's run. Your mind doesn't firstly goes to your body. Your mind doesn't first go to use body flicker technique. It just says get the hell out of here. That's all.
Meteor's impact zone and just not die? No, let's make Onoki and Gaara do this Herculean effort and we're just gonna run away like, you know, normal people, because even though we can all body flicker away from the meteor strike, we're not gonna do that because, I don't know, we're saving chakra or something. It doesn't make much sense, you know? And you can't say they didn't have forewarning for that jutsu because they literally stared above them and they saw this meteor coming down and crashing down upon them. It gave them plenty of time to react and just use the body flicker technique to get out of the range. Or, you know, when the Ten Tails launched a Bijudama strike against the headquarters of the Ninja Alliance, Inoichi and Shikaku just stayed there and
Even if they use the body flicker technique in this situation, I doubt anyone there had the amount of chakra needed to travel far away enough so the blast doesn't get them. Because if you guys saw how massive that explosion was, the only few people that I think could have survived that with the body flicker technique is either an Hokage level person or basically just a Hokage level person or above could have survived that blast with the body flicker technique. No one else has the amount of chakra needed to escape that great of a distance. Like, it is dumb.
and waited to be destroyed by it instead of body flickering away and surviving the strike,
You
and
could
also,
not
you know,
travel fast
surviving so they
enough.
would be able to help the alliance further. Now maybe you could say the strike was too massive, there was no way they were going to escape, but they could have at least tried. And I get
No! Because that would just look fucking pathetic. If they knew, I mean, if you know that the world is going to end, what are you going to do? You're gonna accept it and just, in your last moments, tell the people that you love and so on and so on, how much they meant to you, or are you going to try and outrun the end of the world? I believe most people are gonna try and spend the last moments doing what they want, saying thank you, saying goodbye, and then pray and hope there's an afterlife. So that is my thing. So this dude, was very clever and told everybody what to do and then just accepted it. He was smart. He told them, be brave, do what you have to do, and continue the fucking mission. Not try and get out of there with like 0.0001% chance of survival and not telling everybody else what they have to do. Like, that is dumb.
that in that moment, their goal was to give the Alliance a final strategy to beat the Ten Tails Madara and
There we go.
Obito,
That's all
but
they
if
had
they
to do.
had survived, they could have done that more, you know, because they'd be alive. Or
None of them
after
would have
Jiraiya
survived.
confirmed the identity of Pain and what the hell was happening there, you know, the real one.
You are not outrunning 6 paths of pains. You are not. There's no way you can tell me that he is not surviving that. Even if he did have the body flicker technique. It is fucking Pain. He can just firstly pull him back, or push everything else around, destroy the whole city, and then get Jiraiya in the process and then fuck him up even harder. There's no way Jiraiya's surviving this unless he does a reverse summon. That would have been the clever move to do, a reverse summon backwards. That probably would have been the smartest thing to do instead of body flicker. I'm just saying.
One is not among them. Why didn't he just, body flicker away from the battlefield so that he is not stabbed by multiple Rinnegan rods and killed? You see how the introduction of this jutsu makes things very complicated? Now, all of a sudden, you're gonna ask yourself,
it's not complicated at all. Even if people had the body flicker technique or used it, there's very little people that could actually use it to its fullest extent. That's why Shishui is the only one, as far as I know, that is able to use it during combat. But what was Jiraiya in? Combat. So? And he was up against Pain. Body flicker would not have worked. Shishui, the person that was able to use it in combat, that had an Mangekyo Sharingan, could not have beaten Pain in this situation. You cannot tell me one thing, except if he uses like the genjutsu. But unless he uses that on the main body Nagato, there's no way Shishui himself is beating Pain. There's absolutely no fucking way.
Whenever a character doesn't body flicker, wait, why didn't you just do that? It would have been very easy for you to escape that situation. And the answer is obviously because the plot requires those things to happen, but then you shouldn't have this jutsu in your story because it's actually diminishing the intelligence and the verisimilitude of the story itself. Including this jutsu the way it is in the story was a mistake by Kishimoto. Characters that needed to escape certain situations that use the body flicker to do that, you could have just come up with more creative solutions, as I mentioned before. And then there's also the travel problem, because you can use the body flicker to travel a long distance, and this would render a lot of situations during the series very useless.
This I can agree on. Using it for travel is very good.
And just kind of dumb. Like, the Sound 4, you just got Sasuke, you have to take him back to Orochimaru during the Sasuke retrieval arc. Are you, one, going to just skip through the trees, or two, body flicker away towards Orochimaru's hideout? Use everything you have chakra-wise, just body flicker as far away as you can. Maybe give Sasuke to the one who has the most chakra to do the body flicker and get to Orochimaru as soon as you can, because you just have to exit the Land of Fire and you'll be good. You're not gonna be pursued anymore, so just leave? But no, they don't body flicker, and you're gonna say, well, maybe they can't, but obviously they can. They used that jutsu to extract Orochimaru during the plot to destroy the Leaf Village after Orochimaru killed Hiruzen and got his arms sealed. Why don't you use that with Sasuke? Because the plot requires you to. And of course,
this is his best argument so far.
There are instances where characters remember to use the body flicker technique, such as when the 4 Hokages are brought back during the 4th Great Ninja War, they used the body flicker technique to get quickly to the battlefield.
Except for Minato.
And they were in the Leaf Village. It's a great distance between the battlefield and the Leaf Village. Characters took 3 days to travel from the Leaf Village to the Sand Village in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, and the Hokages with the body flicker technique did it in like 5 minutes.
They are Hokage. That is why.
Of course, they're Hokages, they should be even better than most at the body flicker jutsu, but you would figure that 3 days is much more than whatever any low-level ninja would do with the body flicker jutsu. Why don't ninjas travel like that every time? Now, maybe it's because of chakra expenditure, which is fair, sure, but then again, I've said before, there are characters like Naruto that don't really have to worry about that. And we never see a character traversing with the body flicker jutsu. When Kakashi had to go to find Sasuke when he receives the news that, oh, okay, Sasuke actually left the village and my very inexperienced genin, Naruto is going after him. Bad things can happen. I have to go as quickly as I can. He doesn't body flicker. He just goes, speeding there, but still doesn't do the body flicker. It's very strange, isn't it? If you think from an...
Yes, but in that situation, we got introduced to the doggies. So I find that a lot better than just having him use the body flicker.
In-universe perspective. Of course, Kakashi couldn't arrive there in time because the story had to go. Sasuke had to leave the village and go to Orochimaru. But having the body flicker kind of makes things bad. And I know why
I
this
don't see how this is the body flicker because they're not disappearing instantaneously. They're burning up with with the flame. I guess you can say it was an after image because that's basically what the body flicker does. It leaves behind an after image, so to say. So I guess you can say this might have been the body flicker, but unless it was actually said and by the author or by a data book saying that they used the body flicker there, I'm gonna chop it off as a different type of jutsu.
jutsu exists, it's because in legend lore of shinobis in real life, there is this staple technique where they throw a smoke bomb or just powder and then the ninja disappears as though he
Hey, I beg to differ. Watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They throw the smoke bomb and then they run away. They physically run away. So they don't have the body flicker technique there, so
vanished, completely teleporting away. He's so silent, nobody even saw where the shinobi went. And this is fine and all. I'm not against Kishimoto using real life inspiration, especially from real ninjas, to use in a story about ninjas, but it worked much better for Kishimoto's original intent, where Naruto was not even supposed to be that long of a series, and the power system was not going to be that complicated. But then, when Naruto became very popular and he was like, okay, I have to expand upon this thing, then the body flicker technique became a problem. Exactly how the substitution jutsu became a huge problem, and I've been an entire video about that. Now, you could solve the problem of the body flicker by just deleting it from the story and making characters use more creative ways to escape the situations they were in, and so that traveling time actually matters, you know, instead of just, oh yeah, I could have just body flickered and got here in 5 seconds, but I didn't for plot reasons. Or you could have made a more balanced jutsu. Perhaps you limit the range of the body flicker. Maybe you can only body flicker for like 10, 20, 30 meters per se, and then there's no more way for you to control your chakra, so you disappear from the original place you're in, and the smoke strategy still works, but your enemy will know you're still in the vicinity and will have a chance to detect where you are. It's then up to you to decide what you're gonna do. Are you gonna try to actually run away, or are you going to just reposition yourself and try to fight? And then, on top of this distance limitation, you could impose a cooldown time to make this jutsu non-spammable, which, well, this is not the case because we see Shisui, for example, just spamming it non-stop. Now, we don't really see it in the anime or the manga, but we see it in the games, and he was known for being the teleporter guy. So it's pretty likely he could spam the jutsu, and it's also very much implied that you can sustain this jutsu for a long time to traverse entire continents. And on top of that, you could make this jutsu actually extremely hard to master, or at least a bit more difficult than it actually is, because in the way the jutsu is depicted in the story, even though you were to impose a cooldown limit and a range limit in it, it would still be extremely powerful because everybody can use it, and you're just gonna get our jail free card. Imagine, for example, you are targeted with this amazingly powerful jutsu, take particle style, or Amaterasu, or something very chakra taxing. You can just body flicker, dodging out of the way of this jutsu, and this would be a huge...
Amaterasu is a very different situation because, as far as I know, it's instantaneously. It appears exactly where you are standing. I don't think it travels like the Great Fireball Jutsu or any Fireball Jutsu in Naruto. It literally just appears. It doesn't travel from the caster to the targeted area. It just appears there. So dodging something like that is a bit hard. I can't remember exactly what happens here, so maybe he did dodge it. I could be very wrong, but as far as I know, it just appears instantaneously.
advantage for the one who body flicker, because the chakra cost that you spend to body flicker is so much lower than the cost of the powerful jutsu that was targeting you, that I don't know why characters just don't simply bait other characters into using their most powerful jutsus and then just body flicker away, or even substitute, but this is a topic for my other video. And then you get to this meta in the shinobi world that nobody would even try to learn chakra heavy jutsus because people were just like body flickering away and substituting because there's no point in spending a lot of chakra in an attack that's obviously going to miss. But let me know, how would you fix the body flicker problem in Naruto?
Honestly, I think it's fine how it is. People can use it. It's very hard to use in combat. It is not the first thing that comes to your mind because mental nerves in the situation that you're in, you just want to get out of it. Sure, then you could write some people that do use it in those types of situations where you can use it to like escape a situation while in combat, which most of the time you're in. If you're a ninja, you're in combat. So honestly, most of his points was very like it was not very good arguments. The last one about traveling, yes, that was very good. His like the his point of changing the jutsu to have it had more limitations on it. Yes, but at the same time, it's like if you change it to like 30 meters, yes, that is quite a big distance to travel. But then you can just enhance your body with chakra, and then you can just run faster or move faster. That's what most people do in Naruto, as far as I know. Like almost everybody uses their chakra to enhance their body. Um, so that's why they can like punch through trees, make craters in the ground. It's for those exact reasons why. And the best way to put it is that the Naruto and Sasuke's fight against Jigen, or well, Naruto mainly, oh, and Momoshiki, sorry. Naruto only used his chakra to like enhance his body. That's why he was so fast. That's why his punches were so hard. Is because he didn't use any Rasengans or anything like that because he couldn't. So honestly, I don't exactly know what I was expecting from this. I was expecting him to say yes that the body flicker is kind of OP, and characters that could have used like in game like in universe characters that could have mastered it and so on and so on. But he just rambled on about everybody using it, and he's not wrong. Everybody can use it. It's just that you can't use it in combat because of every point I listed. You just cannot. That's why Shishmi was so good at it, because he had a very calm and calculated mind. Minato, I'm pretty sure if he didn't have the Flying Raijin, he would be using the body flicker technique, but Flying Raijin is just so fucking OP. It's instant movement. You don't travel to it, you just pop out of this place and pop in at that place. That's how broken that jutsu is. And so I'd rather just suggest everybody master the Flying Raijin, but it's so chakra taxing that only Minato, Tobirama, Hashirama, Madara, Naruto, and maybe Sasuke and Sakura, because of the chakra control, can actually use, and Tsunade actually. And yeah, so those are the only characters I can feasibly see being able to use the Flying Raijin. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys on my side, or are you guys on this guy's side? What's his name? Daigo Knight? Daigo, I don't know. I think it's Daigo Knight. Let me know what you guys think. It like honestly, I'm so dumbfounded.